Collective. Hey, good morning. I hope you are doing well. Happy Saturday. Welcome into the channel. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the energy surrounding our health, our well-being via the tarot, astrology, any channeled messages that come through. I'll also incorporate some Ayurvedic or holistic wellness practices that we can implement to really strengthen, enliven our mind, body, soul. Let's get into it. I think we definitely need that strengthening. We're coming off of, when I'm recording, we're coming off of Leo season. The messages are always timeless. Take what resonates. Never force anything. It's no fun, especially for you. You don't deserve that. But as I'm recording, we're coming off of Leo season, and Leo is definitely a show of strength, of power. It's symbolized by the lion, Leo the lion, and the sun in the tarot as well. So it has a lot of grandiosity around it. And, you know, we need that, right? Like, we need that for our empowerment. We need that for our ability to show up in our life in a way that we're going after our dreams, the desires of our heart, the things that make us feel successful and abundant. And for everyone, that's going to be different, right? Like, yeah, a bunch of money is always going to be nice, but that's not necessarily congruent with abundance, or even when we're not feeling healthy, when we're not feeling well. It makes it that much harder, more difficult to deal with what is going on present day, even if stuff is good, right? Like, if you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well, and that's just like what it is. So these readings are designed to kind of just peel back some of those deeper layers of things that might be holding us back, whether that is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or it's manifesting as a person, situation, etc. And some of that with the Leo season has been tough because it is trying to enliven our confidence, our power, the way we assert ourselves. But just as, you know, you're going through that, so is everyone else. And it can bring up some combative energies. I'm hearing like energies that are waiting to fight or trying to pick a fight, or maybe just trying to see how much power control they can assert, how much you will bend. And it might not even be in the most negative or worst circumstances ever. I'm hearing some of this stuff can even just be like really passive aggressive behavior from a friend, from someone you work with, a coworker, family member, etc. Take it how it resonates. But it does feel like I just am seeing these energies, like there are people or situations that are playing with fire. And maybe they even know that. Like, I'm hearing some of you are dealing with people who are bored and it's just something they're trying to do. That value of idle hands are the devil's playground, right? I really love that saying, even though I'm not like super religious. I love like just that idea that, like, you know, if we leave things unchecked, then it can get messy, right? And sometimes we're not even aware of it, right? Sometimes our own bad mood gets projected onto people, situations around us. And that can definitely be amplified during Leo season, especially as we're nearing the tail end. Tomorrow we go into Virgo, which is all about rebalancing, focusing on your health, wellness, which I think is definitely going to be nice energy to kind of dive a little deeper into. As I was preparing for this reading as well, I was hearing like it's a time to take care of yourself. You might be a little burnt out, and maybe not that you don't have energy left, but there are certain things that are draining you. And maybe, like, I'm hearing you're trying to establish some type of boundaries or show up a little bit differently. Maybe it used to be things that you'd ruminate on, or, you know, whatever, like something would get your attention and it would just like suck the life force out of you. Where now it feels like I'm seeing you put up your arm, right? You're trying to cultivate some type of distance, some type of balance within self, which is so important. If we don't do that for ourselves, then, you know, it's very easy to be energetically drained. And you can't really manifest from that space, or the manifestations are like just not that great or not really in alignment with what we want. So Let's start off with an energy cleansing just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. Cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. You can totally skip ahead of this. If you are watching this after the live, you will still receive the good vibes, the good blessing, or good vibes, blessings. But I understand it's not everyone's vibe. I put the chapters down below. I might be a little behind on some videos. Thank you always for your patience. It's also a great time to set your own intention too. If you do have something on your heart or mind that you do want spirit to deliver messages to you around, definitely give that over and be open to receive. Also, if you're live, feel free to drop comments below. I love to engage, interact. It really just adds a lot of color, a lot of value to the reading, to the conversation. I'm not going to get too specific, too personal, just as a heads up. But definitely diving deeper into certain energies that are coming up, or, throwing in intuitive insights you might be receiving. They're welcomed and loved. I also offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, or where it's headed. I'm, as well as if you're looking for a realignment within your body, mind, soul, I do energy healing, as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Because when we are grounded in self, when we are feeling stable, strong, like I was saying earlier, that's really where we're tapping into the things that we do want to see grow and manifest, the things that you totally deserve to have in your life. And I would love to help support that in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. That was a nice little cleansing this morning. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing I don't know, there's a lot of things going on in your mind is what I'm picking up. I feel like you're doing a lot of reevaluation. I feel like you're kind of coming from this space where maybe you've let things go a little bit, specifically as it relates to your health and wellness. Maybe just things that you haven't been on top of this summer, or life has been really busy during this Leo season, and so it's demanding your time and energy elsewhere. There could also be a component of apathy, or I'll be fine, giving yourself a little extra space and freedom. Hey, good morning, Namira. So good to see you, girl. I hope you're doing well. Sending all the love and blessings your way today. Thanks for logging in always. I super appreciate you. Happy Saturday. Oh, yeah. Well, that's also so I was picking up this energy too as I was preparing. And I feel this even just kind of what I was saying, there is this culmination that's happened, and you're ready for some amount of cleansing, of release. And it was really cool. As I was meditating on this morning, there was a beautiful summer storm that rolled in. It was just really fabulous. There was good thunder, lightning. It felt very satisfying. Aw, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the warm wishes, Namira. You're the best. I gratefully receive. But yeah, that value of just being ready to cleanse, or just kind of being ready to step up, being ready to level yourself up, whatever that means for you. And it specifically is related to your health and well-being, because it is an act of self-love and care. It is an act of taking care of oneself, which I was talking about earlier, that Virgo season is all about. It's important after these fire seasons to find that stability, to ground in that earth energy. I love this. The card that popped out is the guiding star. The sign you've been waiting for is here. Follow it. And I feel like you are really seeing this, even if you're not 100% certain how things are going to unfold. Because I was picking up some hesitancy, i.e. where your mind might be racing a little bit. It's hard right now when you have downtime to fill it with positive things, is what I'm hearing. Not that things are bad per se, and everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different, but I am picking up this energy of an ability to deal with whatever challenges you do have right now that you might be facing. It might not be what you want to be doing. It might not be fun, but you're still like, I can do this. But I'm also kind of like looking for something better. I'm also kind of looking for something that feels a little bit more authentically aligned with self. And I feel like as this is unfolding for you, or as spirit is revealing it, is what I'm hearing. It feels like a slow reveal, right? Like I don't think you have a lot of awareness around what it's concretely going to look like in real time, but you can feel it. And as I was hearing that storm as well, I was just picking up this energy, yes, of cleansing, of renewal. Water, being in water, whether it's going out, dancing in the rain, walking in the rain, submerging yourself in the lake, in a bath, in a ritual bath, like all of those things are so healing for our emotions, especially if you are feeling wound up or triggered, which is a thing that definitely can happen right now with Mars in Cancer. It's hard not to take things personally, and depersonalizing it is essential. It's essential because it's essentially what's keeping you connected to that life-draining energy. And I do get this sense of like done and over with to some capacity, in the way that like you don't really want to carry the burden any longer, or just when we get that sense of inspiration, like we're feeling like good and like, okay, I can conquer the world, or I can conquer my health, my wellness routine, whatever that looks like for you. The wheel is turning. I agree with this 100%. And it's a maybe card. Like this deck does like yes, no, maybes. And I'm seeing, why I'm highlighting this is because I'm seeing this as like, again, that uncertainty, that inability to know exactly how it's going to concretely look. Fate is in motion. The direction is undecided. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I feel like there is a lot of moving pieces that you need to sift through, and that you have to therefore gain clarity around so you can find that alignment within self. And that's why there's a lot of things that are up in the air, because I'm hearing this as like, you're looking at each component that needs to be addressed and really weighing it against self. Is this working for me? Is this guiding me in the right direction, in the place that I do want to go? And those questions are not always easy, right? Especially if we're not like used to like operating out of that function in our day-to-day life. I work in the spiritual, more esoteric realms, and it's still like being in the three, like just being in day-to-day living. It can get really easy to get swept up in the very gross, the very physical, and not as much the spiritual, remembering about our intuition and the need to connect to it. And I feel like that's part of why this is so important, because things are still changing. Nothing is concrete quite yet. And I think you're still in this process of creation. You're still using this as an opportunity to discover, self-discover, really weighing against some level of practicality as well. It's not like you're just throwing out all these pie in the sky, or, if you don't run at all and then you're like, I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow, like there, I know that's extreme and probably ridiculous, But like, that's not a realistic goal, you know, like maybe you start training, you know, but and Ayurveda is huge into this, which sometimes I think we miss in Western health and wellness, is to slowly, you know, ebb yourself in, making sure that it's not going from extremes, because that's actually adding a lot of stress on your body as well. And the body, like things in the physical, they take time, right? They take time to change and to acclimate. And that's why commitment is really important. We've been learning a lot about commitment for the past little bit, you know. I don't know. It's been a minute. It feels like commitment to doing things, and this actually makes a lot of sense right now with Saturn in retrograde. Commitment to doing things because we actually love, enjoy, and yes, there are responsibilities that come with certain things, like having kids, a family, job, you know, like we all have responsibilities. We all have things we have to do. Okay, dreamscape. I like this. This is a maybe card as well. The outcome lives in your imagination. Shape it first. So I feel like there needs to be a little bit more concrete. You have the rough outline. You have a general idea of how you want things to look, but there needs to be something that is a little bit more concrete. And not saying like you have to know every nitty gritty detail. I know sometimes when you listen to like people who talk about manifestation, they talk about, you know, being really specific with what you want. And I think like yes and no, right? Like sometimes if we're overly specified, then we're really limiting our manifestations, the channel as to which things can come from us. And remember, like the world has endless potential. Consciousness has endless potential. And it is that value of sometimes we don't see things that universe, spirit, God, however you understand it, sees for us, right? Because that energy is constantly having that bird's eye perspective. And something might come in that might not be exactly how we envision it, but really cool and really magical for our life and adding a lot of value. And I feel like, yes, so part of this dreamscapes is about connecting with self in the way that you are doing that self-discovery, or you're devoting time and energy to know what direction you want to head and the rough framework of how you want things to move or what you want it to look like, and then starting to fill in the gaps, right? Dimming light, no, your energy is drain, pause, and restore. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, it's not the time. Something is not in the right time. And it does feel like maybe you're dealing with something that's kind of charged you up or made you feel a certain kind of way, or you've kind of veered off the path of your health and well-being for a long time, and now you're trying to rein it back in. But again, it's not magic. It's not going to happen overnight. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Celestial stop. The universe blocks this step, heed this sign. Yeah. Like something is just not ready to manifest. And I think we got this energy a little bit in our weekly reading, or in our midweek check-in, which would make a lot of sense. Like, or I don't know. Was it Virgo? I think so. Like, we want to be really mindful with how quick we are still moving. Even though I think that there is more manifesting, the wheel is turning. There is more that's happening, and you can feel that rumbling underneath the earth, right? Or just, you know, you can feel the change happening, but it's still foggy. It's like walking down a path on a foggy day where you know, maybe a few feet in front of you is clear, but like, you know, 20, 30, 40 feet down the road, you can't necessarily see that type of vibe. And that's where it's filling in the gaps with this dreamscape, dreaming, fantasizing how you want things to be, what you want things to look like in your world. And I think there is still something that is actually closing out. I'm hearing this two ways, though. I think this is also something that is dimming your light, you know? But I think it's also drained your energy, right? Maybe those two things are the same, but I'm meaning it in the way that, like, something is taking from you, and you need a little bit of a recharge before you start up and running again. And I think this is a safeguard. It's just so you're not either like manifesting the same energy over again, or putting yourself into a position that's like worse off or just that much more annoying, especially if you do have some commitment behind it. And trusting that spirit is guiding you. Like, I think that that's the first and foremost. And I think this is also about putting a little bit more trust into spirit, surrendering that need of control, which can be very hard for both Leo and Virgo energy. Virgo is very fixed, very rigid, like very much like this is how things have to be done. And sometimes that can be detrimental, for the energies that are involved. Not shaming it, because that fixed energy is really good when we're talking about taking care of our health and well-being. And I feel like it's this value of like, the more, yes, there are things that are happening. Trust that process. Trust the wheel that is turning. Maybe you don't have to be so on top of everything, or maybe when you are in those down spaces in your life where like in terms of like when you have some time to yourself or life is a little quieter, like everyone's getting along, whatever that looks like. Like maybe you don't have to burden yourself with what is leaving, right? Maybe you can actually inspire and enliven yourself towards where you're headed and where you're going and what that's actually going to look like for you, and investing in that. And I know sometimes that flip of the script is hard to do. It's not easy. But I think this is about making sure that your home, that your, whatever your safe space is, because I know not always home is safe space. I hope that's not the case for you. Even if your home is not a safe environment, trying to find a room or a corner or a space that you can have all to yourself, if that's available, but also like making sure that you're cultivating that safe space, like making sure that you're having somewhere that you can go to. Maybe it's your car, right? If your home is not, right? Like having that ability to kind of disconnect in a place that feels safe. Yes, sacred. What do I mean? I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can put up an altar. You don't have to, you can just decorate it really nicely, or give something, bring in energies or things that just make you feel good, that make you feel powerful, a good smell, a good lotion, stuff like that. Things that can help just kind of allow your energy to rest and restore, so that you are preserving what you have for what is to come. I do think that there's something that's going to take a little bit longer than maybe what you're anticipating. And that's why Spirit's emphasizing this need to focus on self. And it's not a bad thing to do, especially if it's something that is not character, like typical for you to do. Like maybe you're out helping everybody else before you even get to yourself type vibe. I love this double confirmation on the wheel. The wheel is turning. So I feel like that's a really positive message. I feel like that's the message that you need to cling on to most. And yes, I'm not saying to be so future oriented that it feels like it never comes or it takes you away from the present. But the past, things of the past are, it's important to know how to disconnect and when to disconnect from those things. Gain the wisdom, gain the clarity, gain the awareness, the value, and then move along. I love this. Namira says, I am taking rest, taking care of myself. It's so important. And it's like, I honestly find this to be very counterintuitive with wellness. Like when we take care of ourselves more, we actually get more done. It's like the best thing ever, but it maybe feels a little bit counterintuitive off the bat. I like this. Page of Wands. Your energy feels light. It feels lighthearted. I feel like you are being free with yourself to some capacity, giving yourself the opportunity to play around, whether it is like how your wellness routine looks or the schedule that you are, investing in, or, even just like trying new things out. The Page of Wands is all about exploring new territory. And again, it doesn't look like you are so concerned about what is in the past. It still might try to infiltrate to some capacity, because I'm hearing what goes up must come down. So places that you might have interacted with people, or they've stayed stuck, or situations have stayed stuck, you're moving on from that, and someone else is not. That's what it looks like with the Six of Swords in their blocked energy. In your blocked energy, you have the Two of Wands and the Star. Giving someone something credit that it was going to do either what it said, or it was gonna, give you the results that you wanted or whatever, and it's just not happening. And maybe this has been a thing that's been hard to let go of, right? Like maybe there is parts of this that it is kind of grieving some of the loss, some of the fantasy, the ideal of how you wanted things to look. But also it's that friendly reminder that staying in that space is only going to get you so far, and you do have the opportunity to heal. And part of the message with the Two of Wands is, yes, two things that are opposing one another, but the ability to find harmony and balance, right? And sometimes that does mean just being really honest with ourselves about what something is. And it looks like you are doing that, specifically with the Page of Wands, because now it's not as hard. Like, you are very ready to let go of something. And I think this process, I'm not saying it's going to take forever. I don't necessarily see that. But I think that you are kind of functioning off of a lot of this like residual fire energy, or, from Leo season, or just like the excitement, the inspiration. And you want to make sure that you're not going to get burned out too quickly, because there still feels to be some disconnects lingering, specifically with how you're perceiving something, like wanting things to be better. This can even be as simple as like I thought that this was the right choice to make. And I'm hearing like you don't have to put it in such linear terms. Not everything is good, bad, right, wrong. Sometimes things are just a stepping stone. Sometimes they're just like there to get us to the next place. But I think you're wanting more connection. You're wanting more commitment from someone or something. Or you want that thing that is the answer, that is the key, that is really going to kind of like level up your health and your well-being. And it also looks like you have that answer. And that's why some of this is just so frustrating, right? You know that whatever you're dealing with right now is not it. And this is this energy of kind of saying like, F it. You've done so much, you've invested so much. And I'll clarify some of this. I'm going to put this back. I'll clarify some of these just to see, but it definitely looks like you've invested a lot into something. And now, like, the Page of Wands feels a lot like throwing caution to the wind. But we want to make sure that we're not being too fickle, like I've been saying a lot repeatedly, sorry, throughout the reading. But that value of like making sure that you have something to back yourself up with first, right? That you're not just cutting ties or leaving something behind in a way that destabilizes you. And I think that that's where this process is saying to move slowly, to take your time. Yes, it's good to explore other options and opportunities, but at the same time, you don't necessarily want to let go of something until you have what you need in place. Because that's the whole rub with whatever you're dealing with. It's not delivering. It's not giving you the energy that you want and need. And this is important because it is the thing that's helping to direct you into a different direction. But you also have to kind of be a little bit more clear and aware of how you want things to move, and what things do drain your energy, what things do deplete, what things are like quick fixes, right? And if it's hard to decipher what that is for you, Ayurveda really looks at this like nature is the best thing. Anything that is whole from nature, that's the best thing we can do for our physiology, right? Like we can rebalance our body's natural biorhythms by taking a walk outside, right? Like, which is mind-blowing, right? If you eat like whole fruit, it's better than having a smoothie or a juice, you know? And yes, everything has its place. I'm not knocking anything specifically. You always want to do what is right for your body, what your body is telling you. If anything, forcing or restricting, like I talked about, Ayurveda looks at that as like it just adds more stress. And it is really counterintuitive to healing. And that's exactly what you're trying to break free from, right? And so there is a way to move forward. But it is requiring a pause, a time of rest. Something is changing your mind. Something's changing your mind and it's forcing you to see something through a new lens. You might not realize what is being offered to you, or it feels a little bit like, I don't know. It looks to me like you're not as committed to something as like something wants you to be. You're looking for something else. You're looking for something else to be a little bit more fulfilling, more inspiring, more in alignment with you. It looks like the energy that you're dealing with doesn't really understand this. They're either not getting the message or they're not listening. Let's see what clarify. Yeah, they just might not be getting the message. They might not be listening to you. Something is forcing them to look at it differently, but it also looks like it's coming from maybe even just like from your energy in general, like a lack of desire to engage, a lack of desire to really connect, pulling back your energy because you're not really feeling like you're getting what you want. All right, let's see why this energy is holding back. What is the motive behind this? Okay. Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Someone who has control in a dynamic, Six of Swords, about how things transition. This might even just be someone who's like on a little bit of a power trip. Okay. Yeah, there's like, okay. And so why... This feels like something that's on a power trip. So even if this is just something within your health and wellness, this can be like an addiction to sugar and you just can't get it out of your mind. You know, I know that's very basic, but like anytime we eat sugar, it gets more addictive the next day, the next time we crave it more, etc. And this feels like something like that. If it is just more physically or whatever thing you can find yourself craving, longing for, it's like that thing is holding on very tightly. And in an effort, like I said, to kind of dictate how things move, it's this need to have power. It's a need to have power and assert oneself, i.e. that Leo energy. Wanting like this, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be such a negative Nancy, but this feels like, yeah, 100%. Okay, so I'm not crazy because this is like someone or something that wants you to bend to its will. Like, you will work on this how I want you to work on this. You will do what I say. Or it's like a needing to be in control, needing to be the one who dictates how situations play out. And if they're not getting what they want, there is conflict, right? You're getting met with some backlash. That's nice of them, or whatever this energy is. There is something that is toning you down. And again, or toning it down within you, whether it is like a craving or something, you know, just something popping up who has been really draining for your energy. like I said, you've been able to remove yourself from this to some capacity. I want to look at, okay, the wheel just popped out for us again. I want to look at this Two of Wands for you. What is collective having a hard time? It feels a lot like an energy of expecting someone to be more mature, or expecting something to be a little bit easier, or the anxiety. The stress feels like it's taking over more so than what it needs to. 5 of Cups. You're not convinced around something, so you don't really want to invest in it if you're not confident. And I think you're exercising the control that you do have, right, in this dynamic. And I think that goes back to, that's where I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, because to me it's like with this dreamscape energy, you want to make sure that you're not like, excuse my language, but shitting all over people. But I don't really feel like that's what this is. This looks to be like an energy that's wanting to again, dictate how things move. And you're just not on board with that for whatever reason. And and you're not getting the results on top of it. Like maybe things that they've promised you or are due to you, or like you feel like you've tried every which way and it's just not happening. And so that's where you're fine to do your own thing, to move into your own vibe. But there is fear around this. Either like you haven't done it this way in the past, or you're taking on more courage, you're being stronger within yourself, seeing where new territory leads you. And that feels exciting, but it also feels nerve-wracking. And again, there's not a lot of certainty, right? Like I keep getting that foggy or like fuzzy energy that, was coming through in the very beginning. And it looks like the more that plays out, the more annoying it feels. Like it might even just be the excuses, or I've been down that road before. Oh, like this craving again. I'm sorry. I know that's so basic, but it does, like, again, there is this level of like mastery that you do have over this thing. It just feels like it's being dragged out. It's being dragged out. And maybe some of that is because of you. Maybe some of that is because of them. Maybe, maybe you feel like it's more them. Take it how it resonates. Because there is a lot of stubbornness, again, like it's a superiority thing. It's like wanting to have that, like be the one on top. The Queen of Wands definitely is an energy that thinks you should bow down or listen to her, and that's how this is coming through. And I think this is also why this energy has really been dimming your light. But I think that, again, I'm seeing you be more motivated by inspiration, and that is getting you somewhere. But I also am hearing like there's baby steps, or you're only taking baby steps, or like don't burn your energy out. Use it in the right way, right? Like making sure that nourishment, that support of self, just like Namira was talking about, is your foundational focus. Support yourself first, and then fill in the gaps with other things. And maybe you do need to set up a little bit more structure, routine, so you can accomplish what you want. And maybe there are places that like this is going to be very energy draining, and so your hands are tied and you just kind of have to work with what you got, right? Life is crazy, it's busy, it's really hard, especially if you have family and kids, or just like a lot on your plate. It's really hard to structure time for ourselves. And if anything, like our culture doesn't really honor that either, There's a lot about, or it does really reward like people and dynamics that are working like 90 hours a week, right? And that just it's not practical. It's actually like very counterintuitive to living, and Ayurveda for that matter. All right, I just want to clarify this 4 of Cups, King of Swords, and then we'll close it out. 2 of Wands, yet again. Over and done with. Like, it just feels like it keeps mounting, the Hierophant. Yeah. I don't think you're getting any new information. It feels like it's the same thing over and over and over again. And maybe this is just like running the energy out, right? In a way where it's like it's always putting you kind of in this more negative or more low vibey space, i.e. this dimming of your light. And yes, to me, this is like in your blocked energy, it's either you've stayed somewhere too long or you're letting something block you. And maybe this might even just come in the form of questioning yourself, questioning what you're seeing, what you're sensing, what you're picking up. Gaslighting, liars, like that's fun, right? Not really at all. It's hard to and again, not to sit and harp on that energy, right? People are going to do what they're going to do. But when you're getting those red flags, when you're getting those hints, then it really is kind of taking that warning sign of like, okay, how much am I going to invest back into this? And it does really look like you are pulling back your energy, and you're pulling back your energy big time. And in a way that something is becoming very aware of this. I don't know that it's necessarily, it doesn't look like it's moving them that much, right? It's like they see that things are changing and they know they're finally at the tail end of something. And it does feel a little bit like something is rejoicing. Like maybe, again, it feels like an energy that you're ready to disconnect with. Whether that's something within you, whether that's something that's just not serving you, that's held you down, that's held you back. There might be like a pulling of that energy on you this week, beginning of the week, but it's not having the same grip. It's not having the same hold. And that energy understands it just as much. They can see it, right? They can see it in your actions, in your response. I am a light in the world, shining brightly for others to see. I love that. Perform small acts of kindness today for somebody else. Whether it's through monitoring, awkward, maybe someone's monitoring you, mentoring, sharing knowledge, or simply offering a smile. Be a light in someone else's world. And I think this is just like valuable in and of itself, right? And it doesn't have to be your arch enemy or the person you're fighting with or like, it's just about being of service, right? Like giving a little bit of yourself, and it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Maybe it's holding the door for someone or, helping an elderly person with their groceries or, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways that we can, or like just complimenting someone. Hey, you look beautiful, or you look great, or I love your outfit, or whatever it may be. Like those acts of kindness are very small, but they're so heart honoring. And I think we receive, it's such a beautiful exchange. That's what I want to see, because the energy that we receive from doing those things and the energy that someone else receives, it's big, it's huge. You always remember that. Like life is so crazy. People are always doing, like, I don't know. It's very interesting how rude people can be, and I feel like we've kind of moved away from some politeness within the culture. It doesn't mean you have to be a doormat or, whatever, but like, and I think it starts with self, right? Like when we're nicer, then, inadvertently, like it helps trickle down to other people, so, and it makes you happier, right? Like it maintains your sanity. If other people want to go down that road, let them go down that road, right? I'm confident in my abilities to trust myself and succeed. I love that. Reflect on recent success and write down the skills you used. Use this list to remind yourself of your capabilities and reinforce your trust in your ability to succeed. I feel like this is going to be really handy with the dreamscape energy as you're kind of cultivating like what your next steps are going to be, or what some practical things that you can do to kind of help move this change along. And I feel like it's directly attached to your abilities, and maybe even things that you haven't really uncovered or you're not really acknowledging in yourself. And I think, whatever this is for you, it's kind of going back to home base. Who am I? yes, the world can inform us in certain ways, or what it means to be healthy and well, doctors, wellness people, whatever, right? Like everyone has their opinion. But what is actually honoring and authentic to you, and what resonates with your physiology, with your being? That is like where your confidence and success lies. And oftentimes we just need to tap into those energies that much more to give ourselves the boost that we're looking for. The boost that not only inspires us, but also gives us longevity. Namir said, thank you, beautiful. Okay, have a great day. Good to see you, Namir. Thanks so much for logging on. I hope you have a fabulous Saturday as well. Take care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for all the love and support always. All right, final card. Wrap it up on those vibes too. It's a busy day, but it's a beautiful day. It feels peaceful. Feels like there will be some peace. Challenges are just opportunities in disguise, 100%. When faced with challenge, pause and ask yourself what you can learn from the situation. Write down at least one potential opportunity or positive outcome that could arise from overcoming this challenge. This practice can help you shift your mindset, embrace growth, and turn obstacles into stepping stones. 100%. And it feels like that's like so true for this energy that you're dealing with. It might be annoying. It might like bother you a lot. There might be a lot of frustrations around it that you can only do so much, or you're limited, or whatever it may be. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's putting you down or limiting you. If anything, it's inviting you to be more creative, to be more inventive with your approach, to cultivate your ability to be successful and to empower yourself and really kind of discover and reveal who and what that is. That is where your power lies. It's not in stopping. It's not in letting someone or something else stop you, but it's allowing yourself to actually feed into the energies that are guiding you, that are directing you, and that are supporting you. It's safe. It's safe and secure. That's what I'm hearing. And there, that act of surrender this week of just letting spirit move you is going to be really powerful. I feel like there's going to be a lot of magic that unfolds, that even though, yes, this is taking its time and has more to play out, more to be revealed, it's not putting you down in the same way. It's not feeling defeating or like you lost. It's actually feeling like, hey, there's actually things that I can cultivate out of this that are going to be really powerful for my life and success. And that is what I wish for you. All right. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed the reading, especially if you've made it this far in the reading. Thank you so much for the love, the support always. I super appreciate you. Definitely drop comments below. I love to interact, engage, hear how things resonate, or just share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. No, it blesses my heart so very much, and I'm sending love and blessings back your way.